And we are live. Good evening, Bethany family. As you can see, as I always say every week, you guys should know the script by now, right? It's 5:30. You know what crew it is. It is Monday. So you know what it's about to give, right? It's the recap. It's the recap family. We have the whole fam here today. But we are just coming off of an exciting weekend of a full weekend, if you really want to talk about it. But before we get there, we want to give you that hospitality. So we want to welcome you guys on in to the chat. We want you to let us know where you're tuning in from, how you're feeling today. It is Monday, a warm one today, but it's always good to start off the week with nothing but conversation, with fellowship, and some laughs, right? So something I want you to do. There's 3 things that I want you to do. First, I want you to like the broadcast, right? So it can pop up on, your feed and everything, as well as sharing it, okay? Sharing is so important, especially throughout this time with technology. We want to share the word of God. You never know who may need to hear this. So, all right, so we're going to like it, and then we're going to share it. And then if you are joining us for the first time, we want you to type VIP in the comments, because we want to shout you out. We want to shout out your name. We want to let you know how much we are appreciate you joining in with us. And we just want to show you a whole lot of love. So those 3 things: like, share, and type VIP. All right. Last time I tried to type VIP, but my boss told me I couldn't. I just like that title, VIP. We love to make you feel special. So please make sure that you're doing those 3 things. And as you guys are doing those 3 things, I am going to, introduce this amazing panel. As always, up top with me is my partner in crime. I get in trouble with all the time. Just playing. We don't get in trouble. Sister Des, she comes up here with her knowledge and her gems. And we just love Sister Des and her warm, fuzzy, perspective on things. And next to Sister Des, we have, the leader, the cherry on top. He gives us the nod. He gives us the smile. He gives us all. Tell him we're doing good. And then he adds his nuggets, right? Shout out to Rev Rich joining us today.
I've never been referred to as the cherry on top.
Well, it's so special. It's the recap family. You know how we do on Mondays. And then under Rev Rich, we have our social media director. You see her all over the place. She's always, whether she's in the wheelchair on one foot, she's with both feet on the ground. She is moving. Sister Maya.
Hey,
I'm gonna throw that in. And then next to Mimai, I need you guys to get ready in the comments. Ready. I need you guys to say it with me. We know this now. Deacon McGee's in the house, my brother from another mother.
What's up?
And if you guys do not know, I am Brother Kevin, and I just want to, again, thank you guys for joining us. You always make the discussion 10 times better. We always love seeing you guys, and I am seeing a couple VIPs in the comments today. Sister Maya, do you want to shout them out?
So let's give a shout out to Shonda. Thank you so much for joining us for this first time. And Vonda.
Okay.
Vonda and Shonda.
Can we get a Donda? Can we get a Rhonda? Can we get
Vonda Mashonda? Hey.
Glad you guys are joining us.
Right. We are so happy you guys are joining us. And Keisha, I see you. As always, she blesses us with her comments and always her perspective. We love her. Keefe, I see you. I'm trying to get so many comments. Mylita. Am I missing anyone else? Well, Joanne, I see you. I'm trying to keep up with all the comments and everything. So if I did not say your name in particular, I do want to say welcome and thank you for joining us. And please make sure that you are sharing and that you are liking as well. And also you can comment someone in the chat. And speaking of commenting someone in the chat, we are wrapping down July. I don't know where the summer went.
Crazy.
It's going by. So we are going into our last month of the summer. And if you go to Bethany, you know how important the last month of the summer is. It is our Transforming Lives month. And you may be asking, what is Transforming Lives? And basically, we want to just bring all those. If we were in service, Bishop would say each weekend is geared for a different type of individual, right? It could be the drug dealer Sunday. It could be the lying cousin next Sunday. it is for everyone. So
Yeah.
we are, even though the church is still closed physically, we are still moving virtually. So through all of our broadcasts in August, we want you to invite someone, tag them in the comments, let them know what we have going on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And, hopefully, they feel connected, they feel comfortable, and they rededicate their life to Jesus Christ, to God, and just become a part of our family, right? So throughout the month of August, I'm going to give you guys a week because the 1st of August is on Sunday, correct?
Yeah.
So we have till Sunday to get prepared to, start commenting in all the broadcasts and letting them know that it's Transforming Lives Month for the month of August. And, just invite someone. Don't we love Transforming Lives Month, guys? Like, we just love it, right?
So can we get some examples? Because I know I've suffered through this every year. Like, what do I do to invite someone to church?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
of course.
It doesn't sound hard, but it's so hard. How do you invite someone to church? So it can be as easy as Kevin said in the beginning, clicking your share buttons.
Yes.
Giving someone a call. Hey, so-and-so, what are you doing Sunday? Watch church with me. What other ideas you guys got?
So I always say you can, host a watch party as well.
Yeah.
That's something you do social media wise.
Mm-hmm.
You may live in a household of people that may not go to Bethany. So how about you all have a Sunday morning, brunch or breakfast and watch service with us on that Sundays, right?
Yeah. Make it fun. It's a good time. That's all what, Transforming Lives is about.
Of course.
And there's no pressure because, folks don't have to get dressed up to come.
Exactly.
They come as they are. And somebody say, well, I'm going to be working out, or I'm going to be working in the yard, or I'm going to be driving to so-and-so's house. You say, okay, cool. Just drop it on in your cell phone, pull it up on social media, stream it through your car, put your headphones in. So whatever you're doing, you can listen. There's no big deal. It's only going to take an hour of your time. and then let me know what you thought.
Exactly.
And it's really a great time to be inviting folks, because you can just say, okay, you can just send them the link, right? Just send them the link. So just click on it. What you doing? You ain't doing nothing. You in the bed or you up, but you're not doing nothing.
Right.
Sunday morning at 8, you're not doing nothing. Even if you're laying in bed, just lay there with your eyes closed and just stream it. Let's see what you think.
Exactly.
I love it. And you did bring up an awesome point, Rev Rich, is that you can listen everywhere. And if you do not know, Bethany has it all. We have all different types of platforms. So we do have podcasts as well. If you don't have that visual that you need and you just want to hear, we have podcasts available to you as well. So please make sure that you are inviting someone throughout the month of August. We want to make it spectacular. And not only that, we are 7 months into this year. We have 5 more months to go, right? So we want to transform someone's life. And, as we finish off this year, 2021, that sounds so weird, but as we finish off this year, we want to welcome them into the new brand new year, just feeling rejuvenated, restored, and just feeling on fire for God. I'm telling you, when I rededicated my life to God, it just felt so good. It just felt like I was unstoppable. I'm still unstoppable, but it just feels so good. So we want to make sure that someone else has that feeling, that same feeling as well. And then also, Smai, can you tell them about Connections Church as well, especially those that may not be, local, that want to participate in Transforming Lives?
Yeah, so Connection Church is our online church specifically for people who are not necessarily within traveling distance or might have some sort of physical disability to still come and be part of all that we're doing here at Bethany. We still have all of our ministries and whatnot as part of the Connections Church. So it really is as if you are here with us in person, but online. We have members down in Florida, California, New Zealand. It really is just a great way to, again, stay connected with us as a church, but with each other, right? I think with the pandemic, we all kind of, it was an opportunity for us to meet people in ways that we wouldn't have thought of before, right?
Right.
Across the world. So you can join the Connections Church by going to gotobethany.com/connections. Yeah, get in on the fun.
Yeah, awesome. And then also going into Transforming Lives Month, but also we are preparing for our young leaders, our young students to go back to school in September, just a few weeks away. So in preparation for that, we always love doing our Catch the Fire initiatives, right? So what Catch the Fire basically is our initiatives, our back to school drive, where we come together and we bring book bags, we bring hand sanitizer, bring those masks, bring those pencils, those pens, folders, everything that the teachers as well as the students will need going to this school year. And we pray over them and we make sure that we set them back right. So if you want to be a part of that initiative, if you want to volunteer, if you want to give, we encourage you guys to please contact the church or look on social media for all the information that will be coming out. We do partner with the Five and Below in Cherry Hill, and basically this year, usually we have a flyer. You can still print out the flyer, but it will be electronic this year as well, right, Sister Mai?
Yep. So if you go again to our social media profiles or to our website at gotobethany.com, you will see where you can download the flyer. You can print it out for yourself at home, or you can present it on your phone. And 10% of those proceeds will go back into the fundraiser so that we can get even more back to school supplies for our students.
Yes, absolutely. So please make sure you're inviting people for Transforming Lives Month, as well as participating in Catch the Fire and letting those that may not have, those school supplies or in need of those school supplies for next year, let them know that what we're doing for Catch the Fire Book Bag Initiative, and stay tuned to all the social media platforms to get additional information. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And we have another VIP.
I know, Teresa. All the way from Topeka, Kansas.
Woo! Come on now. We want to make you feel so special. And Sister Sherry, we see you. You want to invite your sister, Sonia Green. So we encourage you to please let her know when we're, look at our schedule throughout the week to see what we have going on throughout the week, and invite her on, all of our platforms, whether it's YouTube or Facebook. And let her know that she's tuning in, and make sure when she does join us that she puts VIP in the comments as well. Okay. All right, so we are coming off of a packed, loving, celebrating, a big celebration from this weekend. We celebrated, and we're still celebrating. We're still celebrating our fearless leader, Bishop David G. Evans, with his 31st pastoral anniversary. I do just want to take the time to just shout out all the Bethany family that came out throughout this weekend. Decorated their cars, sewed into Bishop's life, into his ministries, and just showed love. It just seeing that smile on his face, and just seeing all the love, the balloons, the decorations, the anniversary post and everything. It was just, if you know me, I love celebration. So I loved it. You would have thought that it was my anniversary, but I loved it. It was just so beautiful to see. So I do want to shout out all the Bethany family that participated. You still have time to participate. You still have time to sow into Bishop and this ministry. It's just an amazing time. How did you guys enjoy the festivities this weekend celebrating Bishop?
It was awesome. It was nice, like you said, to be able to celebrate Bishop. He does a lot for us. Like, take what you know and multiply it by like 1,000. He does so much. So it was great to see people come out to really celebrate him and to thank him for his 31 years, entire lifetime of service. And then it was just nice being able to see people. We've had people travel from out of state to come and show him some love. So it was a great weekend.
It was awesome. Sister Des was someone that decorated her car. It looked so nice. But as we did, we did celebrate Bishop, but we also did get a treat yesterday. We enjoyed, of course, our encounter service. We had Bishop Joseph Walker, who preached for 8 o'clock and 11 o'clock. And then later in the evening, we did have Pastor Jamal Bryant that also, gave us a word. So we were fed. And if you went to drive-in service on Saturday, Bishop was teaching. It felt like we were back in the sanctuary. That man was on fire. It was hot out there, and he made it hotter. He was on fire, right? So this weekend was packed with some stuff, right? So we are going to try to recap as much as we can, but I do encourage you to please go back and watch all the services, as well as driving service that will be streaming later tonight, right? So as I stated, Bishop Joseph Walker, he came and he preached a word for us, 8 o'clock and 11 o'clock service, as he used, Peter as the narrative of Peter to, basically give us that word, right? So he entitled his sermon, Waterwalkers. I just like that, Waterwalkers. You can't say it 3 times fast, but yeah. But he came out of the
I want to hear you try, though.
Waterwalkers. He came out of the book of Matthew, chapter 14, verse 22 to 31. He started off by saying, when you are a water walker, you're not consumed with the opinions of people. When you are a water walker, you're willing to do things that people would dare you even do. Things come in your spirit that people never think about because you're always a step ahead of people, and you get irritated by people who are stagnant, who don't want anything beyond what they have. Bishop Walker stated that the lesson here is that revelation must be greater than your fear. Whenever you are facing something you've never experienced before that you know must be greater than what it looks like. Another way of saying that is, what I know is greater than what shows. Revelation is the apprehension of truth at your own level of comprehension, which some people get revelation in certain spaces and others get it later. But it's still true. So Bishop Walker, he basically, I loved his sermon because it talked about leadership. And it was just right in time for Bishop's Pastoral Anniversary. Know how important leadership is, especially when you are growing that relationship in Christ. You need a strong spiritual leader, right? So we are all leaders in our own respected areas, whether it's in church, whether it's in, our personal lives. I see you, Ali, as well as, our careers and everything. We're all leaders. So I'm going to ask you guys, what are some qualities that you have or plan on displaying as a leader in your respected positions?
Give me one more. Repeat one more time.
Of course. So what are some qualities that you have or plan on displaying as a leader in your respected positions?
I think there's something important to being humble. Sometimes as leaders, it's easy. I mean, I think we all had a pretty good representative of this past 4 years or so, of your head getting big and I'm the leader, I'm big bag boss, right? But there's something that's really unique about remaining humble and being in the trenches with the people that you are there to lead. I think not only does it give them an example of, what it means to be a leader, to look forward or to look toward, for direction and whatnot, right? But knowing that they are getting the experiences with you. So you're not, just they're doing all the work or whatever. Your leader, whoever you're looking toward, is there with you, walking with you in the journey.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I don't know. That's something that I admire about Bishop and Pastor Nick. So I hope that I'm, taking some of those qualities also, but
no, you yell at us. Just playing.
What? You never.
But no, I definitely would agree. Being humble, because sometimes you see multiple times, some people will get in leadership positions, not even in church, just in, in careers and stuff like that, where they let it get ahead of themselves. They forget where they started, correct?
Right? They think it's about them.
Absolutely. Sister Des, Deke, or Rev Rich, go ahead. The floor is yours.
I think it's important to know when to say no. I think that's something that not everyone has. And being a leader, you need to know how to be the decision maker in a lot of ways. And that's something that I'm constantly trying to develop in myself, because I do agree to things so easily sometimes, even at my own expense. So learning to say no is something that I need to develop and continue to work on as I move forward in my leadership, growing as a leader. And I see that displayed in Bishop and Pastor Nick. Like if something doesn't work, they're willing to go, this is not it. We're going to go in this direction instead. Like they're not afraid to, you know, say something, it doesn't work. So I respect that very much.
Absolutely. I love that. I love
Hey,
that.
Kat, remember that time we asked Bishop?
Yeah.
He was like, "No, I'm not doing
No.
that." It was so fast.
That's the thing. Bishop will tell you no.
He'll say no.
It was so fast.
With love.
Right. It's with love. Right. I had asked him to do a favor. He knew we were doing something goofy with filming and, Bishop, hey, Bishop, you did me a favor. You never have to ask him for a favor, Kevin. No.
No. I'm not doing it. And walked away. Smooth.
And walked away. We loved it. But Sister Maya set me up. You didn't know.
I did not. I really did.
She did. Because she wanted me to do it. I was like,
Right.
I'm doing that.
Go ahead, Antoine.
I would say I try to display and I try to mimic Bishop and Pastor Nick's organization and discipline. These are the most organized men I've ever met in my life, to the point where he schedules every hour of his day. I'm not there yet. I'm working on it, and discipline to the fact of, working a full, almost more than 40 hours a week and still having that extra time to spend time with God,
right,
and study and be weeks ahead in preparation for the people. It's amazing. And the other thing that I love and I did develop from them was service. Serving is a key thing. I remember when I first got started, doing ministry, Bishop was like, follow this person, they'll teach you how to serve. And I didn't recognize how important it was until I really got in it, but serving is the key. That is a big key on how to even stay humble. It's a big key on how to learn. It's a big key on how to obtain favor. But serving is just what we do naturally. It's what we're called to do as, human beings. And, if you want to be an effective leader, you have to be a very, very effective servant. And that's the biggest key.
Yeah. And I definitely would agree with you. I think one of the biggest qualities for me would definitely be servant, and also being a student. We learn new things every day. So being able to still be a leader, but also be willing to be a student and learn things and learn more things about yourself and take that criticism as well. Take that constructive criticism and not just throw it away and stuff like that, or get an instant attitude when someone tells you, hey, maybe you could have, So I definitely would agree with you by being a servant, but also being a student forever as well. Go ahead, Rev Rich. What are some qualities that you have or plan on displaying as a leader in your respective position? Good sir.
No, that's a great question, Kev. Just a quick shout out, for those of you who were not at the service on Saturday, and I know Kev said we're gonna show it at 7. Bishop always brings it, right? He always brings it, but there are those times when as soon as he starts preaching, you're like, he's already here. He's already at another place, and that was this past Saturday. I was sitting there with Pastor Val and Brian, the Kingdom Guard. I said, he feels like preaching today. He always feels like preaching, but he was in another place. So If you want to get blessed, you got to watch it at 7:00. I was amazed that Bishop Joseph Walker picked Waterwalkers as his title. And whether you're a leader of a large congregation or you're just leading yourself in a very non-visual way in terms of other people aren't seeing it. If you've ever had the opportunity to walk on water, it's an amazing thing to be able to do. And when I say walk on water, I'm saying doing something that you thought you never could do before. When you do something you never could do before, it opens you to the power of God, right? And what he has imputed of us. The wonderful thing about Jesus is that He created this world. He was right there when God created the world. The three of them were there. But while he was here on earth, he always gave credit to the Father. He never took the credit for himself. And he was here when the world was created. So from a leadership standpoint, I think, and for those of you who have watched for the last 2 months, we've been doing Jesus CEO in the BPA panel, talking about leadership. But leaders have so many different qualities, multidimensional people that have so many different qualities. One of the key qualities that I like to always lend and lean on is the consistency of presence, right? Regardless of how bad things get, regardless of how wonderful things are, you stay in a place of centeredness. Like Bishop preached back in the old church, you have to be the thermostat in the environment where you are, that's keeping things at a constant temperature, not getting too happy, not getting too sad, but being even keeled when things go as they will go, because life will throw you different things at different times, particularly when you're least expecting it. And you have to know that when those things come, whether good, whether bad, that you can be consistent in knowing who's in control of everything that it is that you're dealing with in your life. So I think a level of consistency and temperament is so critical. We saw it in everything that Jesus did.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Whew, that was good. Thank you, Rev. So Bishop Walker stated that when we respond to the responding action of that is radical faith. We have to remember that faith means nothing without a corresponding action. Your ability to be willing to leave the comfort and confines of pre-existing situations and step out into something you've never done before is radical faith. Unfortunately, some people will never leave the boat, and you have to be okay with that. You have to recognize that even though Peter is willing to step out, other disciples are just going to be on the boat because they are very complacent. Some people are going to be that way, and they are going to be satisfied with what they have, and that's all they want. So let me ask you guys, what advice would you give an individual who is dealing with someone who is very complacent? It could be in, an intimate relationship. It could be with your family members or a friend. What advice would you give them? Because I feel like we all experience that when we're trying to elevate, when we're trying to move to the next level. There are some people that don't want to move to that level with us, and it's hard to let them go. So what advice would you give someone that's dealing with that right now, with someone that wants to stay complacent, but you want to bring them along? It's so hard, right? What advice would you give them?
Go ahead, Riff.
And certainly Justice Ekoya, I think, from Kenya. God bless you, and thank you for joining us this afternoon and evening. Complacency, and this is a big deal, particularly now that we've come out of this pandemic, or coming out of this pandemic. Some aspects of complacency have a lot to do with mental health and how people have been treated, right? It's difficult for them to come out of this shell, so that they don't necessarily have to be around extroverted people, but they have to be about people that care about them as human beings, so they feel comfortable as they begin to look for those things that they never would have done before, because they're getting that encouragement. Everybody's not like David. Everybody's not 1 Samuel 30:6, and David's encourages himself in the Lord his God. Everybody can't do that, So you have to be able to surround yourself with those people that help give you that encouragement. You have to stay in your word, that help give you that encouragement, so that you can then, it's like sanctification. You are justified and saved soon as you accept Jesus Christ. But the process of getting sanctified is in fact a process. It doesn't happen instantaneously. And when you're complacent or have a complacent personality, it's not an instantaneous event where you're no longer complacent. You have to get those small wins that allow you to say, hey, and then you're ready to step on the water. Right. Then you're ready to step on the water. Amen.
Amen. A water walker. See, I'm messing it up. See, I can't. But go ahead, Sister Des, Deacon Antoine, Sister Maya, would you like to add to that? What advice would you give an individual who may be dealing with someone who is very complacent?
I think it's important to remember that everyone's walk is different and it's not always going to be on your time or the time that you think it should be.
Absolutely.
So being mindful of that, but also making sure that you are still remaining true to yourself. Because I feel like a lot of times when we're in relationships where someone is complacent, we give or we make sacrifices that aren't good for our own walk. So be mindful of that. Know when, like we said before, know when you just have to say no.
Yeah.
But do what you can. And I think the more, okay, let me back up. We try to be direct and say, you have to do this, or these are the steps to whatever. But I think if you just let it shine by your actions and just your daily life, that will serve as a way for people to see for themselves, what relationship with Christ or going to church can do, right?
Absolutely.
So just being an example, I think sometimes does a lot in helping to move a complacent person.
Yeah, I like that. Deke, would you like to go next?
I was just going to say, everybody can't go with you. Everybody can't go with you. To the disciples in the boat, all of them saw a ghost, but one saw an opportunity once they knew it was Jesus. The invitation was, it didn't say Peter come, it just said come.
Mm-hmm.
So all of them had the opportunity to walk on the water. One person did. So when you're dealing with people who are complacent, you have to, as Maya said, as Rev Rich said as well, have to recognize that everybody's walk is not the same.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to walk on the water, I may not need you to walk with me.
Right.
Maybe I just need you to watch, to give you the faith to know that it's possible for you too. Because everybody can't go with you as you walk forward. And I think that's what gets us in a lot of trouble, is that we want to bring everybody with us when we shouldn't. We got to, as he said in the message, listen to what God is saying to you.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to his voice in the
Yeah.
midst of everything before you start to say, hey, let's go do this. No, he may not want them to go with you because he knows later on down the line that individual may trip you up.
Yeah.
So we just got to be careful. But yeah, everybody can't go with you, and it's okay. And you just have to be willing and bold enough to walk out there by yourself.
I like that. Sister Des, would you like to add?
Yeah, I was gonna say something similar to Deacon. Like, in the message, the pastor said that Waterwalkers have a specific language, and not everybody speaks that language. Like,
Right.
not everyone is going to be able to communicate with you on the level that where you are in your life. And so
Right.
in the same way, like Deacon just said, everybody can't walk with you when you're walking on water. Some people are going to weigh you down. Some people are going to try to drown you. So it's like you have to allow people to stay where they are. And it's hard because you want people to, you, especially if they're people close to you, because you think about the people who were in that boat. Those were friends. Those were, you know what I mean? Those people became family. So it usually is the people who are the closest to us that we want. Like, I want the best for you. I want you to be better. But we can't, I find myself personally in those situations sometimes. Like, if you do this, then this could be great, and your life could change if you. But then you kind of get met with the pushback of folks sometimes. So it's like you can't, like Maya was saying, you kind of just have to show them it as opposed to tell them, or your actions have to speak louder sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's something that they teach in lifeguarding. Sometimes you can't go out and swim to the person and swim them back to land because they might pull you in their panic. They might pull you under, right? So what they tell you to do is they try to get them to calm down by using your voice, talk to them, tell them what to do so that they can kind of feel the waves and, get there without having to pull you down.
You know what? Get the give a fly up. It's time to give. Minister Maya always.
This is my Bible. This is my Bible.
So on the other hand, others only take the path that's convenient, meaning they only want the path that has little disruption in their lives. These people are usually very critical because people that don't do nothing and don't want nothing are always criticizing people who do. God is calling you to do something that's never been done before. If you want more, you have to be willing to do more. Bishop Walker wants us to know that sometimes even the best of us have moments where fear comes in, but you can also rebound from failure. So let me ask you guys, do you believe that as a society, we have become lazier when it comes to putting in more work for more results?
Absolutely. And the reason why is because we want to pull up, get our food, and drive off. We don't want to wait. I was at a restaurant probably last weekend, and the food took a little bit longer than usual. But I recognized what restaurant we were at, and it was like, yeah, it's going to take longer because they're actually cooking the food, like they're preparing it. There's a recipe, there's a chef back there. He's doing what he has to do. It's going to take a little bit of time.
Right.
And plus, there's people there. In our society now, we want to do, I would just use social media, for instance. We want to have a few posts and become viral just like that. No, it don't work like that.
Right.
We want to put out one song and boom, instantly it's a hit. No, it don't work like that. You want to go to the gym for a week. Oh, I'm ripped. It don't work like that.
That'd be nice. So
it would be amazing, right? But it don't work like that. We have to, the process of it all is what we neglect to take into a factor, and the pain, because with the process comes pain, and we have to go through those things to get to what we want. And I think in our society now, there's a lot of people who want that microwave success when they think other people just came up on the scene when they really didn't. They were working behind the scenes, working and working and working until their moment came and got noticed. And that's where we need to be. Like that hard work, that discipline, that late hours, early mornings, sacrificing going out, sacrificing talking on the phone, sacrificing your YouTube, sacrificing your TV binging, all those things to get what you want to get done and to accomplish something is necessary. You can't just wake up and tomorrow I'm a superstar. Can't do that.
Yeah, I think we tend to want to skip the process, and being one myself, I like to pull up and get my food, like that too. So I am not the perfect example to use. Would anyone else like to add to that?
There's certainly some things that look, hey, I've had this conversation with Bishop plenty of times. I mean, years ago, probably 15 years ago, that we live in an environment. I can tell pretty quickly once I meet you whether you're a person of entrustment or entitlement, whether you believe you've been entrusted with everything you have or you've been entitled to everything you have. And none of us came out of the womb grown. Right. Jesus was on this earth for 33 years before he went and did what he had to do. Right. So once you have this presence of entrustment, or you say, well, look at what that person did. Well, you don't know what that person had to do to get what the struggles they've had to go through, the pain they've had to go through, the late nights they've had to go through. I suffice it to say that there are folks out there today that look at the four of you and say, well, how come they get to do, and how come well, look, y'all are there. Y'all are in the place, in the church, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. It wasn't like I just came off the street and Bishop said, hey, we want you to be, assistant pastor, right? I've been there 30 years, 30 years, it's not like I just walked in, it's 30 years. And people want to be like, I can do what Bishop does. He's been doing it for 31 years. No, you can't, So folks have this sense of entitlement when they need to be thinking about, I've been entrusted with the care of myself. I've been entrusted with everything the Lord has blessed me with. I've been entrusted with my job. I've been entrusted with these things. So let me take care of them. And as I take care of them, what happens? He gives me more. And then he gives me more. And then he gives me more. And the next thing you know, you sitting there like Joseph in charge of the whole kingdom. But it's not because you just got it just like that. It's not because you were entitled to it. But as the Lord entrusted you with things, he continued to give you more and more and more.
Absolutely. See, this is why I said cherry on top.
Sheesh.
Sister Maya says that's what you like to add to that. We could.
Nope, he said it.
Bishop Walker stated that distractions are after your destiny, which is why you have to have the faith to believe it's possible, the fortitude to keep going, and you have to focus on Jesus. The lesson here is to pray and don't panic. So as I said, we had Bishop Walker, who gave us an amazing sermon for 8 o'clock and 11 o'clock service. And then later in that evening, we had another service celebrating Bishop with someone who is no stranger to the plaza, Pastor Jamal Bryant. And he titled his sermon, "I'm putting in a 2 weeks notice." All right. You know, I saw some comments, you know, reposting that on Facebook and stuff like that. So people, listen, yesterday was packed with some word, right? And he came out of the book Nehemiah, chapter 2, verse 4. And he said the pandemic has caused people to reassess their positions. People are questioning their careers, and many are re-examining their marriages. Research analysts discovered that out of a poll of 4,000, that 3 of the 5 workers plan to learn a new skill. 3 out of 5 want to gain qualifications that are new, or they want to change their occupation altogether. The demand for talent is higher now than it has ever been. Pastor Bryant stated promotion is coming, and let there be no delays for every dollar you are owed. So throughout this pandemic, we have experienced a number of changes. What do you believe was the greatest wake-up call for individuals during this time?
When stuff started getting taken away. I think that was probably the biggest, that, and then recognizing that, wait, I'm not in control of everything. Then you started to wake up like, okay, I got to get my life together. Self-care became really big, and working out at home became very popular, and cooking your meals became a thing again. Having conversations with your children, spending time with those that you care about, actually showing compassion became a thing all over again.
Yes.
Because now we have to recognize that the people and the things that we cherish can be taken away. Absolutely. Just like that. No one saw this coming, but it came. And when it came, it shifted everything. And now I pray as human beings in America, all across the world, that we understand now that life is precious and that we live it to the fullest, that we care for one another, that we have that true compassion that Jesus had, and that we also take time for ourselves. And recognizing that it's okay to attend to yourself. Because now we're recognizing and we're seeing now that as life is opening back up and things are happening, that people are going back to what they used to do. And it's not good. Why deaths are going up, kidnappings and all these different things are going back to what it was before. We have to get back to it. Because the wake-up call is this. We are human beings. We're supposed to care for one another. And we're supposed to do things that God called us to do. And if we're not doing it properly, if we're not doing what we're supposed to do, we're going to go back to where we just were. And that's all the pandemic was. Human error gone wrong. It's just, we got to be careful. We just got to be careful.
Deacon, as Tia said in the comments, come on, Deacon.
No.
Go ahead, Sister Maya.
I agree with all that Deacon Antoine said. Like, no one saw this coming. No one. And I think for a lot of people, this was the hardest Oh, Ali. I think for a lot of people, especially Ali right now, this was the hardest times of their life. You know, there are a lot of questions going on. How am I going to get through this? You know, I'm not going to make it. God help me. But I think now that we're coming out of things, hopefully, you know, we'll continue to move in that direction. We're seeing just exactly what we were made of and how strong we are. And, you know, sometimes when we're in these types of situations or beforehand, we don't think that we can make it.
Right.
And when you're on the other end, you're like, wow, look what I did. Look what I can do. And so that gives you more encouragement to keep going. Right. And I think that's what we needed so that we can make better decisions, like Deacon Antoine said, and not go down the same rabbit holes, but to do better and to move further than what we thought we could do.
Like that. Sister Des, would you like to add?
They kind of said what I wanted to say, like wellness, really. You know, we returned to taking care of ourselves, wellness. And one thing that a partner shares often is like, just because the world is opening up doesn't mean that you have to. So that's something to be mindful of. It's like, just because things are starting to develop more doesn't mean that the practices that you put into place, the things that you've learned about yourself during that time of solitude, that doesn't mean that those things have to go away or change. Just find a way to incorporate those into this new life, you know. So
I like that. So Pastor Bryant shared that there are some things that God is giving your hand to build, but you are intimidated by it because you're looking at your grandparents' time schedule. What it took for them to do it is not going to take you the same amount of time. It is going to take you long to do something that is going to last long. Your spirit needs to hear the tenor of your own voice. So in your opinion, how has being intimidated by our parents or grandparents' time schedules affected the identities of younger generations?
We just talked about this before. How, you know, our parents are now like, oh, and y'all forgive me. You ain't got, when am I going to have, I would like to have my grandkids before so I can enjoy them while I'm young. And I'm just looking at them like,
I've never heard that one before.
I have. It was just like, my bank account ain't reading grandkids right now. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. But in all seriousness, you know, a lot of the generations before me, and this is just me, were already, you know, had children, had careers established, had things going on, knew exactly what they wanted to do and how they wanted to do it. And then they even pivoted later, you know, but, you know, now I think hearing them say things like that puts a little bit of pressure on us, but then also allows us to be individuals and say, I want to do it a little bit differently, you know, and also follow in the footsteps of the good things, but do the other things differently. Like, okay, yeah, kids ain't it right now, but you know, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this career thing though. I'm gonna save this money. I'm gonna buy this house. I'm gonna get out of debt. All these different things, but then also understanding that my time zone isn't their time zone because of the advantage that I have, which is I have their wisdom plus God's favor, which allows me to do things that they weren't able to do before.
I'd just like to add a little tidbit to y'all youngins real quick. As you talk about kids, certainly, yeah, you want to be married before you have kids. Yeah, you want to be established, but you remember the little boy with 2 fishes and 5 loaves? That's how it's gonna be when y'all have kids. Y'all, you ain't gonna never have what you think you need to have kids. You going, when you have them, they there, and you find a way to make sure they got what they need. If you wait, you will never have any kids. I'm not saying don't you send me no emails and nothing like. I'm not saying go out and start having babies. What I'm saying, you can't plan on the funds you need to have kids because when they come, they just suck it all away. And it's just what it is. You know, I didn't have I had a townhouse. We didn't have a house. We didn't have this. We didn't have that. We didn't have nothing that we have today. But the kids came, and you found a way to take care of them. So that's just a little tidbit. I know that's off topic, but I just want to let Deacon Antoine know the little boy with 2 loaves and 5 two fishes and 5 loaves, and then it was enough. But you're not going to have enough until they come. Then you just find a way to make a way.
Right.
Amen.
Amen.
Can I piggyback real quick?
Please.
I think it's more so, Rev, the security. Like, no, like it's not necessarily like having the amount of funds. It's like being secure within, first of all, being secure within yourself. Like, am I ready to be a parent? And then being secure with your partner. Are you stable and ready to be a parent? And then it's about
that's all understandable, Sister Des. I understand that, and that's real. You know, that's real talk. Some things you won't be. Some things you don't know how to deal with until they happen, until you're faced with them. There's you can get a whole lot of security. You can, relationships still grow. We have been married 2 years when we had our first son, but that doesn't mean that there was still a lot of things that we didn't know about each other and stuff. So all I'm saying is everything's not going to be perfect before you do that. You just, when it happens, guess what? The Lord will. Not maybe, not almost. The Lord will provide, and y'all will be all right. I'm not saying, again, don't rush out and have no babies. I'm just saying, don't wait until it'll be all right.
No, that's something that we always talk about in Fresh. And if there's any millennials that are tuning in right now, or someone that's in your family that's a millennial, that we love having these conversations. It's a safe space, it's an open space where we have, our private meetings other than Fresh Friday, where we have conversations like that, because we do have a lot of similar, feelings and perspectives and stuff like that. So we just want to give you that space. So if you are a millennial tuning in right now, or if you know someone, that just has those thoughts or stuff, please let them know to, email us and, join us for Fresh on our private chats, as well as our Fresh Fridays on live as well. But Sister Maya, what are your thoughts about it? In your opinion, how has being intimidated by our parents and grandparents' time schedules affected the identities of younger generations?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that was said here, because I definitely agree that, as a millennial, there's that feeling of I want to have everything together before I start, going down this path. But then, like Rev Rich said, you ain't ever going to be ready. Life happens. When you think you're ready, you're not. So, but I think, especially when you have a close relationship with your parents, their words weigh a little bit more heavier. They're heavier than others. So it can be a lot trying to navigate, what you think is best for your life, while still trying to consider and do what your parents, are saying, the direction, you should be moving in.
It's kind of like when you go to the shore and you put your foot in to see if the water's warm enough or if it's cold. You either just dive right in and just go in, or you just like, oh no, I'm gonna wait a couple more minutes. Let me get warmed up. So.
Yeah. But my mom always just pushed me in. So.
Well, God bless you.
But at the end of the day, and my dad used to tell me that, he said, look, the way I was raised was different than the way you were raised, which is different than the way your kids are going to be raised, which is different than the way they're going to raise kids. At the end of the day, we all have to live our own life.
Yeah.
I can't do what so-and-so think I should do, or what so-and-so think I should do, or as much as I care about what they think, I still have to live my own life. So that when I get ready to look at myself, I can say, well, that was my decision.
Yeah.
That was me that did it. Not, well, I shouldn't have listened to. So why did I listen to? No. You have to live your own life. As long as you live your own life and you're connected to the Lord, you'd be just fine.
Yeah.
Amen.
I completely agree with that. Like Rev, like you have to move by what God tells you to do, because I think about like what my parents or the older people in my life have said to do, or different things, and I'm like, ooh, thank God I didn't do, and thank God I'm not with, you know what I mean, like thank God I'm not with the person that they thought I should be with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so you have to move in the way that you're supposed to. Y'all laughing, but I'm serious. That's really how life is sometimes. So I appreciate you saying that, Rev. Like you want to like make your parents happy and make your elders happy, but at the same time they also have to trust that they raised you well enough to be guided by the light that they have set before you, as well as the light that they have shown you through God, so yeah, I completely agree with what you said.
Amen. Amen. So what do you do when your assignment is an obstruction to what it is you planned? What is it that you do when you've got a burden for something that's not your business? What do you do when you are called to something that doesn't match your training? What do you do when you feel the pull, but you don't even know if it's God? So with Pastor Bryant's message, it really came from just people, for me, people's identity and just finding their calling and birthing new things throughout this time. So there may be someone watching right now that may be like, oh my gosh, I'm in this career, but my heart's not there anymore. Or I want to try something new, but I'm scared to step out on it. And, I said to myself coming out of this pandemic, I wanted to try something new. You should have grown through this time, right? So what encouraging words could you share with someone who may be in a place of confusion when it comes to their identity or their career choice? What encouraging words would you give them right now in this moment?
Mm-hmm. I actually want to echo off of what Denise just said in the comments. Trust God and believe in yourself. And to add on to that, just do it. Like I said earlier, my mom pushed me into the pool. She knew, because that's what I needed to do. I need to just jump into it because I'm a very analytical person. I can spend all day trying to process and reason. I should go down route A instead of route B.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes analytical. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, who would have thought? Sometimes you just gotta do it. So,
like Nike.
Yep.
But go ahead. The floor is yours, guys.
I would say one, really, really listen to the internal voice. We learned that, our desire can sound like God. Discern whether it's a strong desire or if it's something that is generally pulling you. Like, when it's pulling you because you're fighting back. When someone's pulling you, you're like, you have some resistance. Mm-hmm. That's why they have to pull. So, you have to kind of really assess that. And the best way that I can explain it is, when it happened to me, you got to wrestle with that thing, mm-hmm. and if for those of you that really want to hone in on if God is calling you to do something, really go back and listen to our Bible study series right now on how to get a word from the Lord. Yeah. Because there is where the key is where you're going to learn how to, soak in his presence, sit with him, and really hone in on what's in your heart, and then assess what's going on around you as well. Are you getting easily agitated at work? Or are you constantly being drawn to this thing? Is it a passion? Is it making you, the thing that's drawing to you, is it a passion? Does it make you angry when you don't see someone doing something? Because our emotions are indicators. It's sensory. So we have to really think about those things. But then, as Maya said, after you pray and after you seek wise counsel, do it. Even if you're afraid, do it. Because God's going to meet you in the middle. And if it's meant to be, and if it's something that he called you to do, he's going to come alongside of you and help you. And if it's not meant to be, he'll definitely stop you before you get too far. So, yeah, I would just say, just do it. Use that faith.
Wise words from the Deke.
Yeah, that's good. That's good word, Deke. And I just would say that you can't walk on the water until you step into the water, and you can't step into the water until you put in your 2-week notice.
Do you see the connection? Do you see? Do you see? Rev Rich, I ain't fooling with you tonight, sir. That was awesome. Sister Des, would you like to
have a good night, y'all? Have a good night.
I love that. And as I always say,
I don't know where this hour goes, but I just know that it goes by so fast because the conversation is so good. And the people that are in the comments with your perspectives, with your comments, with your questions, you make it 10 times better. So, we try to recap both services as much as we can. But if you did not get the chance to watch our encounter service in the morning or 8 or 11 o'clock service, or our evening service at 6 p.m., where we celebrated Bishop for both services, I encourage you to please, please, please go back and stream it and make sure that you're commenting and, also sharing it with someone that may need to hear that, right? Because, this recap was it literally was it was literally this. It was just peace. Just a piece of what we were fed Sunday. So I encourage you guys to please go back and make sure that you're liking and you are also sharing it. So as we go on to this week, as we said earlier, Saturday service, Bishop was on fire. The worship was amazing. We had the dance ministry out there this Saturday. It was good seeing them out there. So we are going to broadcast that live tonight at 7 o'clock. So in about 30 minutes, you got some time to, get something to eat and watch the broadcast tonight at 7 o'clock. And then going into Tuesday, we do have Real Men Talk. So we have the Men's Safe House Ministry. So all my brothers, please come out tomorrow night at 7 p.m. as we have another dynamic discussion with the title Real Men Talk. And as always, we get fed. We should be full from this weekend, but we're still going to get something. We're still going to get some more on Wednesday with the Word Impact Gathering, as Deacon Antoine share with you the series that Bishop and Pastor Nick are on, getting a word from God. How to get that is a beautiful series. I encourage you guys to please join us Wednesday at 7 p.m. And then going into our weekend, we have our On Point Radio Saturday at 9 a.m. in the morning with the dynamic duo again, where you can ask them questions about everything that's going on in the world. I love how they do that. As well as 11:30 a.m. weather permitted, we will have our Saturday drive-in service. So we encourage you guys to come on out and join us. And then later in that evening, we have emerging worship at 6 p.m. And then going into Sunday, again, Sunday are 8 and 11 encounter services, as well as 9:45 a.m. our Engage Live segment with the discussion inside of it, with some, visual aids, with some games and some laughter. And then it is the first of the month. So we are going to have our communion, virtual communion at 6 p.m. So please make sure that you join us. And again, that this Sunday is the beginning of our Transforming Lives month. So we want you guys to encourage someone to please join us as we go into this month. But again, I just want to shout out to all the Bethany family that showed Bishop a whole lot of love throughout this month. It was an amazing month. We love our Bishop. Bishop, we love you. Happy anniversary. Happy 31st. We are looking forward to many more years, and we're just looking forward to God still blessing you. And again, to all those that tune in tonight, we thank you guys. It is our prayer that you felt engaged tonight, that you enjoyed this conversation, that you will share. Okay. And we will see you virtually on social media throughout the week, Bethany family. We love you. Be blessed.